I apologize once again. I apologize. Thank you for joining back in. Maybe share the link to others that were part of it that might have left. Bear with me for tonight. Surely, 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 all these things shall pass. These things shall pass. Internet problems shall pass. Hardware problems shall pass. Surely, surely, surely. 10 minutes already gone because of complications like this, and we can only make the best of what we have left. So we have 20 minutes to go, and hopefully we can make the best of it. Hopefully we can make the best of it. So we're going to dive straight into it. I think I've already introduced what we're doing today. We're going to dive straight into it. So let me share my screen. Confirm if you can still hear me. Alright. So yesterday, if you remember, we talked about the Dan Harmon story cycle. The Dan Harmon story cycle. And this is it. A character is in a zone of comfort. Character is in a zone of comfort. That's the introduction. They want something. That's usually the call to adventure. That's usually the call. No. They want something is an internal desire. Internal. And then enter an unfamiliar situation. That is usually a call to adventure. Call to adventure. Adapt to it is usually the journey, the sojourn. Why is the stream like this? Let me know if you can still hear me though. And then they get what they want. So that's when they finally, what would I call it? Receive victory of some sort. Usually this victory is not the final analysis. Do you understand? So like I think a very good example would be in I think Marvel does this very well, where they'll have some sort of victory, and then we now realize that that wasn't the real victory. That wasn't the real victory, and then they have to make up for it. And then we have the character paying a heavy price. Paying a heavy price. That can be in the form of a realization. It can be a physical loss. They return to their familiar situation, but this time there's something that has happened. They have changed. So let's talk about this. Someone submitted the assignment, and we're going to read it together and just see what we can learn from it, and also see how we can apply it in other contexts. So are you ready? So it says, Jim and Jay are two best friends. They decided to both run for president and vice president of their school as best friends. Interesting. They campaigned together and made many promises to the students for a better school, to better the school. Everything is going well as they compete against Jack and Jill, brothers notorious for playing dirty. So just right off the bat, I've identified a few things. I would want to believe that this line both combines, these two lines both combine zone of comfort and want. If you notice, they decided to both run for president and vice president of their school. So that decision was driven by a want. And I think since it was not explicitly stated, we are free to assume that the want is to win, right? To become the president. And they campaigned together, made many promises to the students. So you're telling us about the normal relationship. Everything is going well as they compete against Jack and Jill, brothers notorious for playing dirty. So I think this is queuing into unfamiliar situation. Call to adventure. Jack and Jill try to bribe and bully students into voting for them. So they have entered unfamiliar grounds. Jay and Jack, I would say that off the top of my head is an interesting choice that you it's an interesting choice that you went for, Jack and Jill, Jay and Jack, all JJ names. As much as it's cool, I find it hard to read, but yeah, it's still cool. It's still cool. So Jack and Jay are kind students and promise to do better in school for them. So there's some form of contrast, good versus evil. So when you set up good versus evil, there's usually a battle, right? The votes are 50-50. Jack meets Jay to try to make a deal with her. So, he wants to make a deal with the devil, right? Where there's a temptation. So, there are so many frameworks in this, and I'm trying to see how it aligns with our Dan Harmon cycle. Then, I'll tell you my insights when we're done. Temptation. Jay really wants this position, so she compromises with Jack and makes him the vice president if he and his brother drops out. Okay, so he wants to make Jack the vice president if he and his brother drop out. Jack agrees. After all, his brother was only helping him. Do you understand? So Jack wants to be, both of their wants align, and he has made a deal with the devil. Jay, I don't know that Jay is a he or she, but Jay has made a deal with, in a metaphorical sense. Right? He has cut, he has gone to make it, she or he, they have gone to, make a deal with the devil. So, in our framework, at what point would you say this is? So this is leading into getting what they want, right? Jim, mm, Jim is shocked by the news, and he confronts Jay for her foolishness. So this is he has gotten her full selfishness. So that means it's a she. Jay got what she wanted. She became the president, but at a cost. At a cost. What's the cost? Friendship with Jim. Now just fast forward here. Little did she know that it was all plan of Jack to make Jay lose her strongest support. He then plants contraband in her bag and informs the school authority. It gets worse. Jay is feeling bad and realizing that what she did to Jim was wrong. She's about to call to apologize when she's called to the principal's office. Then her bag is open and contraband is found. The principal is about to demote and suspend her. So it's getting worse and worse. Just about then, Jim walks in and confesses to framing Jay and names Jack as his accomplice, with evidence of Jack planting the contraband. He and Jack get expelled. Jay asks Jim why he lied against himself. I don't understand this line. At what point did Jim lie against himself? Anyway, he said, I already lost a friend in this school, so there's no point in staying. So good luck, Madam President, with a bitter smile. Jay finally apologizes, but it's too late and the trust is gone. The bond broken. She retains her position as president, but she felt empty now. She wonders if it was worth it. I'd say in general, good story, very good story. I feel like I could find elements of. Okay, they already chat. Let me see. Let me see. Alright. I feel like I could find. Sorry, let me zoom into this. I feel like I could find elements of our Dan Harmon story cycle in this story, but although it was a bit confusing in some sense, when she got what she wanted, she paid a heavy price. It wasn't clear. I think it's just like, the story is a bit more complex, which is okay because stories are actually more complex, and the two different characters might have their different arcs. But I want to point out something very important. I want to point out something very important from what we have just read. Now, this Dan Harmon story cycle, there is a tendency for you to understand it and then try to force every story to look exactly like this. As good as that is when you're practicing, in reality, not every story would look like this. Especially if you are someone that tells real life stories. If you're someone that creates content about yourself, that tells people, maybe vlogs, that's a very good example, right? Somebody that vlogs or somebody that tells real life stories, not every time would they fit in this format, right? But the important thing in understanding this is knowing how to craft those beats. For example, there's a reel I did many years back, which is a very interesting reel, and I remember using this story framework. I wish I had pulled it in before now. Let me see if I can quickly go to it on Instagram. Yeah, let me quickly go to it on Instagram. It's actually pinned in my Instagram, so we'll find it easily. Instagram.com. Let me share my screen there. Properties. Ew. This one under my. Okay. Alright, so let's go to my Instagram quickly. Where is the video? Oh, I've unpinned it. It was many years ago when I said I've always wanted to make videos. So I start my life saving and bought this camera. Video after video, I didn't give up. No. Okay, it's actually the one that is pinned. It's the one that is pinned, yes. 14 videos and give me a second, I have to okay, let's do it this way. Videos and threw them all in the trash. I want you to listen closely to the I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash.
I've always wanted to make videos, so I stacked my life savings and got this camera. Video after video, I didn't give up.
Let's be real, I've been putting in a lot of work. 15 videos every week. I have a lot of files and documents. I'm forced to be very vulnerable with you guys. No, for me it was just dull.
Hi Isaac, I'm really proud of the person you're becoming. I just thought I should let you know that.
Something wasn't right. It felt like a race against the clock.
I lost the craft to chase the numbers. And that is why I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash. So let's analyze it a bit. It starts by saying, let's analyze it a bit. It starts by saying, I shot 14 videos and threw them all in. Where is your. Okay, we're still together. Let me know if you are following. So we start the video by saying, I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash. That is the hook, right? If you remember our class from hooks, you know that is the hook, right? Okay, you are not even seeing my screen. Let me play it again. It says, I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash. Those first two sentences are my hook, right? The point of those first two sentences are to draw the viewer into the video. I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash. Who can tell me what category of hook that is? I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash. story-driven curiosity. Do you understand? So you're wondering why, especially because the visuals are interesting, right? Because I physically threw my book of ideas in the trash. You understand? So that's, that doesn't conform to Dan Harmon's story cycle because it's the hook, it's to pull people in, right? So now the story is about to start. Let's watch it.
I've always wanted to make videos.
I've always wanted to make videos. So see, we have jumped straight to want. You understand? So because we had a hook, I decided to take the hook as the familiar situation. What I'm showing you in this example is that you can use this framework to tell stories, true life stories. It doesn't have to be fictional and it doesn't have to over conform to the pattern. We just have a structure. So that first, I've always wanted to make videos. It shows desire. It shows a want, right? Let's move on.
So I stacked my life savings and got this camera.
That next line, straight up, it goes to unfamiliar situation. Like I said before, unfamiliar situation is not always something bad that happens, like, oh, there's an explosion, or oh, Joker shows up. No, unfamiliar situation refers to the call to adventure, that thing that makes you enter into the adventure. Do you understand? Whatever the adventure is, whatever the sojourn is, that is the call to adventure. So that is the unfamiliar situation. In this case, it says, I stacked my life savings and bought this camera. That's showing like entering into the adventure. The want was what I've always wanted to make videos. So I stacked my life savings and bought this camera. Okay? And now the next part, we're going to see, adapting to the unfamiliar situation, because at this point the unfamiliar situation is that world of video creation, right? It's unfamiliar, it's a terrain I've not been yet, even though that's what I want. So now we're going to go through it, and I kind of use an abstract way to depict the grind of making different videos over and over. And if you notice in the next few frames, we're going to see that grind, the depiction of that grind.
Video after video, I didn't give up.
Let's be real, I've been putting in a lot of work. 15 videos every week. I have a lot of files and documents. I'm forced to be very vulnerable with you guys. So for me, it was just...
So, have you noticed what is going on here? According to Dan Harmon's story cycle, after unfamiliar situation and adaptation, what happens? So that whole, that whole montage, that's what we call a montage, right? And for me, it was very conceptual. I was using different clips from different videos, but everything they were saying was still aligning to tell a kind of story. Because he was saying, 15 videos every week. I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys. So it started going from, vibe, morale. The guy put on his, he flipped his camera, put down the leg of the tripod, switched on the lights, and he started going from that, you see his mental journey of, enthusiasm to a slow realization of how the grind can make him vulnerable and can make him, just dig deep into the why. Why is he creating? And then that's what, got me here. So in some sense, I got what I want because I created what? Videos. But
Doll.
Hi, Isaac. I'm really proud of the person you're becoming. I just thought I should let you know that.
Something wasn't right. It felt like a race against the clock.
I lost the craft to chase the numbers. And that is...
so, if you are following carefully, you notice that he got what he wants, and they now said at a cost. That's the next part of the story cycle, right? And in this video, what did you notice happen? Yes, I started creating videos, but I realized that I was just chasing numbers, not the love of the craft. Initially, I started out loving the art of creating videos, and it got to a point where it was just grind and numbers, getting more views, getting more accolades. That's, feedback that you get from people and allowing it fuel you. Then I started noticing that, I was losing meaning. in this creation stuff. So that's the whole point of everything. That was the cost. That was the cost. And after cost, they return to familiar situation. This, space that I'm sitting down is meant to be a metaphorical representation of, a familiar situation, because that's the room I started. That's the room the whole video started. In the first shot, it says I shot 14 videos. When I was setting the premise, that's where it started. So you can see, you can represent it in a metaphorical sense. Do you understand? That's why
I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash.
now look at an interesting thing I did. Because it's a loop, the beginning of the video now became that end. But now, because you have insight of the journey, then that sentence, it doesn't act just as a hook. That first sentence, I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash, it now acts as a perfect ending, because you have insight and you're like, all those 14 videos I threw in the trash, it's because they were just product of grind, not passion. I don't know if you are following my, maybe it's too deep, but let me know if you're getting me. All right, so actually I'll just end on that state, right? I'll end on that for you to be able to absorb everything I said. I'll just end with that. So this would be an extension of yesterday's class. Because of our internet challenges, we weren't able to go into the other part of what I said I'll do. I think I would probably do that better tomorrow. So just as a bonus, we'll watch the video one more time in case you're learning from it. Just identify the plot points. Then more than that, I want you to see how you can write it in your own story. If you want to do like a video of your journey so far, how can you understand these plot points and fit it into your own story? Were they points that you wanted something? Were they points that you went ahead to get that thing? How was the journey like? What was the realization at the end? Do you understand? Those are things that make for a beautiful story in this sense. Why are we learning a structure? Because you have to first of all master the rules so that you can break them. And when you break them as a master, then you're able to create better pieces of art. So we learn the rules first and we break them. Well, over time, but we'll just watch the video one more time. I hope it's helpful, because it's very interesting. So then we'll just watch one more time and then we'll close.
I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash.
I've always wanted to make videos, so I stacked my life savings and got this camera. Video after video, I didn't give up. Let's be real, I've been putting in a lot of work. 15 videos every week. I have a lot of files and documents. I'm forced to be very vulnerable with you guys. No, for me it was just dull.
Hi, Isaac. I'm really proud of the person you're becoming. I just thought I should let you know that.
Something wasn't right. It felt like a race against the clock.
I lost the craft to chase the numbers. And that is why I shot 14 videos and threw them all in the trash.
Alright, thank you so much everybody. Thank you for your time. See you on the next one. Bye bye.
How was today's session? I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comment section. Now, to ensure that you put everything you learned into practice, we are building a community of creators just like me and you that come together to keep each other accountable, to share ideas, and to grow together. The name of this community is called Kreate Community. To be a part of this community is simple and it's free. All you have to do is click the link pinned in the live chat or the link in the description. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow. Bye.